think that one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is that looking expensive is all about money. Some of the wealthiest people that I've encountered are the most understated, whereas I've seen people wearing head-to-toe designer and they frankly look a lot more cheap. And I'm not saying that to be cruel, just that for me, elegance is more about taste, refinement, grooming and self-awareness than it is about logos. Over the years, I've been lucky enough to travel around the world, staying in some of the most beautiful hotels, some of the most elegant destinations. And what I've discovered is that the most elegant people I've seen are the most understated. So for today, I would like to discuss how you can appear more refined, more elegant, without needing luxury brands at all. I'm Nicholas Fairford, and let's get into it. Number one, grooming is everything. People often think that elegance begins with fashion, but I believe it begins in the bathroom. This has always been my number one thing when I'm thinking about how to appear more elegant. You could be wearing a simple white t-shirt and blue jeans, but if your hair is neat, your skin is clear, your nails are polished, your teeth are white, you're going to instantly look more elegant and more expensive. Whereas you could be wearing head-to-toe designer if your hair is disheveled, your skin isn't clear, your nails a little bit grubby, you're not going to look so expensive. That's the big difference. Grooming can really just take you so far when it comes to looking more elegant, more expensive and more put together. So that is my number one tip. Invest in your grooming and that will give you a great head start. Looking after yourself changes your entire presence. And I don't necessarily mean expensive treatments or complicated routines. Sometimes good grooming is just all about getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, taking care of your skin, having clean shoes, using a subtle fragrance that becomes a signature. These things may sound simple, but overall they read as someone who is composed and self-respecting. That will always give you an edge of elegance. Fit matters more than labels. This is my second thing that I think is really important. Once you have your grooming nailed down, next it's all about the fit of your clothes. You could be wearing a very expensive designer jacket, but if it doesn't fit on the shoulders, if it looks a bit baggy, if it's a bit long, all is lost. Instead, you could be wearing a jacket that costs £40, but you've had it tailored to fit you exactly, and that's going to look way more expensive and way more polished. So I often shop in the high street. I very rarely spend on very expensive clothes. The thing that elevates my style, I believe, is that everything is altered to fit. So you need to find a really great tailor or seamstress. And what I do, if I buy a pair of high street jeans or trousers, I will take them to the tailor. I'll have them hemmed so that they fit perfectly, they're not dragging on the floor or they're not too short. And then if I want them tapered slightly down the thigh, I'll have that done. And I will also sometimes have them nipped in at the waist. And this just creates a really beautiful illusion of expensive clothes. Actually, they're from the high street. Similarly with jackets, I always have the sleeves shortened so that they fit exactly on my wrist. I have them tapered in around my waist, and it just makes everything look so much more polished and put together when really I'm not spending a fortune. And that is the key to really great clothes, is fit. One of the easiest ways to look less refined is wearing clothes that are too tight, too baggy, too long, or too trend-driven and fashionable. I think a lot of modern fashion has become obsessed with extremes, when in actual fact, if we take it back to basics, it's all about restrained elegance. Clean lines, structure, clothing that skims the body rather than overwhelms it. Even trousers sitting correctly on the shoe makes a huge difference. It's all about the small details when it comes to looking elegant and expensive. Fabric makes a huge difference. I think one of the reasons that people appear expensive immediately is because they understand fabric. Natural fibres almost instantly elevate an outfit. When I mentioned earlier that I only really buy in the high street, I always still try to look for natural fibres and fabrics. So cashmere, you can get really great cashmere from places like Uniqlo. You're going to pay a little bit extra than perhaps a synthetic fabric, but it is worth that extra expenditure to elevate your style and outfits, and also you're going to get more longevity out of the clothes that you buy. Linen, cotton, wool, cashmere, these are all fabrics that move more beautifully, they wear more beautifully, they feel more beautiful, and when you move and walk in them, you're going to notice the difference, and that will instantly elevate your elegance. And you know, this doesn't mean that you have to go out and spend a fortune on these things. I think it's far better to have one really great linen shirt, one beautiful cashmere jumper, than loads of clothes in your wardrobe that are synthetic and perhaps look a little bit more cheap. Restraint looks expensive. This is probably one of the biggest secrets. I think that insecurity often shows itself through excess. Too many logos, too many accessories, too many trends appearing at once, trying too hard to appear wealthy. Whereas truly elegant people understand simplicity. A navy jumper, cream trousers, an elegant understated watch, well-polished shoes, a great coat. There's confidence in restraint. And honestly, one of the chicest things that people can do is leave something out. Remove that piece of jewellery, take off that extra layer. Restraint is elegance, promise you. I always think wealth whispers, insecurity shouts, and that applies to style too. Your environment affects how you present yourself. Now, today we're talking all about clothing and personal style, and so you may think that this is unrelated, but I truly believe that the environment that you put yourself into and live in truly affects how you are as a person. So if you are somebody who gets up in the morning, makes the bed, has a little coffee, really takes time to slow down and enjoy your environment, then that is going to carry through with the way that you present yourself and the way that you wear clothes. For me, these behind the scenes moments are some of the most important to being a very elegant person who looks well put together. It's all about the mindset. If your home is cluttered, messy, chaotic, in disarray, then that eventually is going to carry itself with you as you walk through the world. People will notice it. I can definitely tell the people who have their lives together because they are seamless, kind of like a swan gliding along a river. Even though they might be paddling underneath, everything is put together because their whole life is put together, and that really does make a big difference. You can instantly make your home life more calm and beautiful by getting up in the morning, making the bed, having lamplight instead of overhead lighting, creating beautiful rituals in the evening like lighting a candle or pouring a glass of wine whilst you're making dinner with intention, opening the windows to let fresh air in, keeping things tidy and organised, creating atmosphere, because you're not trying to impress people, you're trying to give yourself a more beautiful way of life. Beauty genuinely affects how we feel, and I think refined, elegant people understand that the most. Posture, energy, and the way you move. You know how some people look elegant before they've even spoken? That's because of the way they move. They walk confidently but not too showy. They have an air of natural, calm elegance. They're not rushing around, they're not shouting. Again, it's more about whispering, wealth whispers. I think that modern life has made people very frantic. We're always rushing for the next thing. You walk down the street and people aren't even looking up anymore. They're looking down at their phones, or they have earphones in. They're not really listening to what's going on around them. Elegant people know that the phone is for another time. The music is for the gym or for when you're at home and wanting to have fun. Walking in the street, listen to the sound of nature. Listen to the environment around you. It will make you exquisitely more elegant than those people who are looking down and not really taking in the world. So yes, true elegance often looks like slowing down, being more calm, having good posture, walking in slowly, holding your head up high, smiling at people, looking people in the eyes, listening properly, not needing constant attention. And that composure changes how people see you immediately. And finally, I want to talk about developing taste. Now this is a funny one because taste is something that can't really be bought, yet it is one of those things that is going to elevate you so much if you have it. Now, I am someone who has been endlessly curious throughout my life, and I'm really glad about that because it's helped me to develop taste in lots of different things in my world, from interiors, clothing, fragrance, beauty, travel, food and drink. I've spent time thinking about what I really like, what speaks to me, and that is having taste. Whether it's good taste or bad taste, it's taste, and having taste is a really great thing. I think that social media especially has convinced people that to have good taste you need to spend a lot of money and it needs to be expensive, when in actual fact good taste can be going to an art gallery or museum and admiring artwork. It's about discernment, about finding what speaks to you and how you carry that through into the rest of the world and what you share. It's knowing what works, what doesn't, and when enough is enough. And honestly, taste usually develops through exposure, through the books that you read, the content that you consume online, the art galleries you visit, the music you listen to, the restaurants that you frequent, the people that you immerse yourself with, learning about architecture, studying design, observing elegant people, traveling, paying attention. I think one of the best things a person can do is train their eye. And the thing is, the more you do it, the more addictive it becomes. You want to consume more and more and really hone your eye. And then eventually, elegance becomes instinctive. At its core, I don't think that looking expensive is about appearing wealthy at all. I think it's about appearing thoughtful. Thoughtful about the way that you groom yourself. Thoughtful about the way that your clothes fit. Thoughtful about the materials that you wear on your body. Thoughtful in the way that you carry yourself. Thoughtful about the way that you present yourself in your environment. Thoughtful about the way that you care about the world and other people around you. Some of the most truly elegant people I've met are not flashy at all. They simply move through life with care. And in a world that increasingly feels loud, rushed, chaotic, that refinement is one of the most valuable things of all. Something rare, something unique, something more powerful than ever before. So I hope you enjoyed this little conversation today, and I'd love for you to share in the comments what elegance means to you. And as always, thank you so much for watching me. You can join me on Sundays for my Nicholas Fairford vlogs, which goes through my life and the things that I'm doing here where I live in Edinburgh. I look forward to seeing you then, but until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.